At the FBI's field office in Atlanta, Georgia, I spoke with Supervisory Special Agent Keith Cabral about the Bureau's role in protecting the integrity of our elections. Well, if the answer is yes, you can find everything you need right here in Athens. And according to experts, using social media to find new trends is popular. In the final stretch of the runoff season, Dogs for Warnock brought Senator John Ossoff and Senator Raphael Warnock to the Zell B. Miller Learning Center on UGA's campus.
Jenna, what's going on over there? What's the update for us?
Thanks, Sydney. A few moments ago, I walked out into the crowd and spoke to a few of the attendees. Everyone's watching live coverage of the election results, and screams of joy and anxiety can be heard ringing out from behind me. I spoke with one woman who was still wearing her I voted sticker. She's an Athens Clarke County resident, and she said her experience voting on Election Day was easy, and she was happy she could make her vote count. When I asked her about the neck-and-neck race between Herschel Walker and Raphael Warnock, she said she was sad it was even still so close.
Political campaigns may be the most visible part of an election cycle, but behind the scenes, a team of election officials in Athens Clarke County have spent months preparing for Election Day. Charlotte Sosby, the Director of Elections and Voter Registration, is involved in every step of the preparation process.
Customer service and perfection has always been something that grounded me.
For Elections Assistant Lisa McGlon, Election Day is the culmination of many months of hard work.
Now I think of it as running 20 in our county, running 24 pop-up stores on Election Day.
McGlon tests and prepares the voting equipment and also helps hire and train poll workers.
Does it mean they have to fill out a new form?
Elections clerk Renee Russo leads some of the poll worker trainings.
Step through here.
According to Russo, the elections office has emergency procedures in the event of a threat to a poll worker.
Calm voters down if somebody's coming in and they're, trying to stir the pot, have some problem that they want to, air.
The Department of Justice launched the Election Threats Task Force last year to address the increase in threats to election workers since 2020. At the FBI's field office in Atlanta, Georgia, I spoke with Supervisory Special Agent Keith Cabral.
If someone's working at a polling place and someone threatens them in some way, the FBI takes that very seriously. So one of our top priorities is election integrity and being able to provide that confidence to the American people.
An increase in threats isn't the only thing election officials have had to adjust to. In 2021, the Georgia legislature passed Senate Bill 202, or the Election Integrity Act, which changed many procedural aspects of the election process.
Sometimes it felt to me like the regulations in SB 202 were a reaction to election denial claims.
For Sosby, helping her team adapt to SB 202 meant facing the changes head on.
It's been a challenge, but I think we've met those challenges.
This fall, the Elections Office worked with the community to help educate voters on these new changes by attending events such as Ready, Set, Vote, hosted by the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Athens. Preparing for the midterm elections is not an easy task. Nevertheless, in Athens Clarke County, the Elections Office has continued to work for their community members and protect the integrity of the election system.
When I run an election, I'm not thinking about the different candidates on the ballot. I'm thinking about, did I help to run the election in the best way possible so that my neighbors and my friends and my community members can go and vote and trust that their vote was handled correctly.
Jenna Monnin, Grady Newsource.
Do you want your next outfit to rival even the best Instagram fashion accounts? To be one of the first to have the newest trends?
Well, if the answer is yes, you can find everything you need right here in Athens.
We talked to fashion experts across Athens to not only get you the newest styles, but also let you know how experts find these trends.
So that you find them too.
Katie Jacobs owns Cheeky Peach, a boutique in downtown Athens, and she says runways are just one of the many ways she stays on top of new trends.
I think runway has almost become like, what is the thing that everyone's going to report on and put on Instagram because it's so bizarre, and that's not necessarily what anyone's buying. I think there are so many trends that hit. I can think of like puffer jackets, vesting, menswear. Oh my gosh.
Fashion Week runways dominated the calendar earlier this year with New York,
London,
Milan,
and Paris, to name just a few.
But they aren't the only way Jacob stays on top of new trends.
She also uses social media for inspiration to fill her stores with the newest must-haves.
And according to experts, using social media to find new trends is popular. University of Georgia professor Yu Kyung-seok says social media has become one of the main ways shoppers stay in touch with fashion.
They use different platforms to see the trend, in addition to the magazines and other one-way shows published in or showcased in YouTube and other media.
While fashion weeks allow people to see what's new and next,
Seok explains that you can't boil fashion and new trends down to just a couple of weeks.
I see in general very cohesive theme, very more holistic way we can interpret the fashion trend. Not just a single fashion week does entail everything.
Caroline Solomon is the president of the Fashion Design Student Association, a club that focuses on fashion design and creation at the University of Georgia. During our visit to the Product Design and Development Lab in Barrow Hall, she introduced us to one of the main ways she stays in touch with current trends, celebrity fashion.
Fashion weeks, I think of more like people that are like really interested in fashion, who are like, that's like their thing. But I think celebrity fashion is like more accessible for people, so maybe they feel like they can like emulate it.
While Solomon uses celebrity fashion as inspiration for her own designs, Jacobs pays attention to them to see how these trends will play a role in people's everyday closets.
I'm really interested to see how the Oscars and everything that was so sheer, how that's going to play into. I think that's going to have a heavy role probably in fall. So I think we'll see a lot of that in like the cocktail wear or like kind of the sort of like special occasion wear. It'll be really interesting to see how that trickles down.
And if you're looking for advice on what trends to fill your closet with this season, don't stress.
I mean, everything 90s is just so hot, and I think will continue to be hot.
Aside from just staying up to date with the newest trends, Seok says fashion plays a much larger role in society.
Always fashion shapes the idea of the society at the time.
Celia Lovell
and Jenna Monnin, Grady Newsource. During Georgia's 4-week runoff period, both Republicans and Democrats worked around the clock to build support for their Senate candidates. Austin Myrie, founder of the student organization Dogs for Warnock, said he created the group to show his peers that their voice and views were welcome on the University of Georgia's campus.
The inception of it really was all of the Herschel Walker stickers that I saw around the football stadium. And I was looking around and it was like a sea of them. But it gave that appearance that this was a Herschel Walker campus politically. And I knew that didn't align with me, and I knew it didn't align with a lot of the students that I knew. People say that students don't want to get involved, and statistically they don't, but we've seen really good numbers in terms of people wanting to support the senator and wanting to get out into the community.
Like Myrie, Oconee County GOP chairwoman Kathy Hurley focused her efforts on community engagement.
Door knocking events where we just meet in groups and go through and hit different neighborhoods, handing out literature and speaking about Herschel. We also have had phone banking events.
Democrats will keep Senate control, but this runoff can still determine complex power dynamics within Senate committees and tie-breaking votes.
We're either going to have a 50-50 or a 51-49. With a 50-50, committee assignments have to be even. So if there's 20 members of a committee, 10 are Republican and 10 are Democrat.
UGA political science lecturer Dr. Jeffrey Glass explained that the importance of this election cannot be overlooked.
There's been a tremendous amount of money spent here in this particular runoff campaign. I mean, all eyes are on Georgia.
Almost $80 million was spent on TV ads in this short runoff season alone.
We have a tie right now in the Senate. It comes down to the vice president's vote. It can really change things having one more vote in there for the Democratic Party. The power dynamic is really interesting. It's a difficult chess game to play out.
In the final stretch of the runoff season, Dogs for Warnock brought Senator John Ossoff and Senator Raphael Warnock to the Zell B. Miller Learning Center on UGA's campus.
So let's get out there, let's vote, let's send Herschel Walker back to Texas, and let's send Warnock back to D.C.
After Myrie and a few other student organizers delivered remarks, Ossoff and Warnock spoke about the importance of getting out the vote for this runoff.
But I want you to think about voting on Tuesday and getting everybody you know to vote on Tuesday.
Warnock emphasized the value of youth voter engagement and turnout.
Because of young people like you, I really do believe that our best days are not behind us, our best days are in front of us.
And cracked a few jokes.
And if somebody is interested in dating you, tell them to write their phone number on the back of a voter registration card, because we don't date people who don't vote.
Jenna Monnin, Grady Newsource.